get some music going. So the 1 hour candle closed bullish, closed above that area. 30-minute candle also closed above that area. 15-minute candle closed like a weak candle. Just gotta wait for
I'm kind of looking at a 30-minute. And when was this? What date? Actually, not remember what year this was. 2018. I've got a kind of level on the MetaTrader at like 6:20, 6:30. See what's in the hour as well. Kind of. So they clean moved down, but then before that we had like quite a strong level. So I'm not sure if we're respecting that right now or not.
Yeah, maybe it may just be well. We don't have a lot of volume right now, so I suppose it's just kind of reacting to that level.
Because that 15-minute close weak, isn't it?
Yeah.
We can get some nice support here late. We're going to be.
Yeah, we could be off.
Targets at 950, 50 pip now, 30 pip trade.
Morning. How's everyone going? Right, let's wait for a few more people to turn up and then we're going to make a start.
grab some food. Be back in about 5.
Yeah, no worries. I'm gonna do that myself. I'm gonna do it myself soon. Market has been pretty weird. I've lost so much. Really? Well, market always moves the way the market's gonna move, right? But yeah, looks like we had this. So it looks like we had this move up in the very late end of the Asian, literally coming on to near pre-London. We've had this initial move up to 151.550, but right now, you know, they're. Yeah, I mean, right now we're gonna need to wait for like a solid support to form. Because in this current situation, you don't want to be buying at the high at this point. Market's amazing. Look at the clean ranges we have in GJ. Yeah, we have some clean ranges above this area. We have a nice clean range for like 40 pips. It's a good area to look for buys. But we need to wait for support because we haven't really pulled back since this move up. So not really looking to get caught out in you know, what do you call it? Buying at the high. You know, you want to be waiting for supports. Gold might get tricky today though. We're close to a previous rejection zone. Yeah, gold. What I was looking for on gold, which seems like it's not going to happen, I was waiting for a support to form over here to take a buy up to 1739 based on the high time frames, based on the daily, etc. If you look on the daily, obviously we have this clean candle coming up to next resistance at 1738, which is actually where I was looking for buys to. If we look on the 4 hour as well, we're closing above this area here to left hand side. Obviously we've hit this wick rejection at 1736. But once we start to form some support and establish that, okay, maybe we can still break above, then I think we're going to head up to this next resistance on the 4 hour time frame, exactly what we spoke about at 1738. We'll see again on the 1 hour. This is a previous support level, so we kind of just want to see, you know, how we react in this support. If we can create that level of support over here for price to continue moving bullish, would be great. So we're just going to wait and see what happens on gold for a little bit. But I'm looking at potential buys from this area up to 1738. It's like a 50 pip range. It's pretty good. EN is breaking down. We're going to come back to EN. Yeah, EN could start heading down to these low points at this point. But I want to wait. I want to wait for some resistance to form because we have this wicky area right over here. So let's take a look. Yeah, probably gonna wait for like a low to be created. See if we can get a pullback. Because we have a support right over here on EN. So we're on our way down to this support. So if we can get a resistance forming, that'll be pretty good for price to continue down. It's like a 17, 16 pip range from where we're at right now. This is a strong level that we wanted to see some potential resistance. Pound yen's pulling back, gold is coming up, yen coming down. Just kind of chilling here. Right, I might go get a little bit of cereal. Ah. Right. Good afternoon, good afternoon. Afternoon. GU idea. Okay, let's check out your chart there. Your GU idea. So this is pound USD. You've got clean traffic to the left hand side. Buys above this area. Yeah, makes sense. I think you're probably gonna want to wait for this 30-minute candle to close, or you're looking to see if there's some support being formed on the 15-minute time frame, something like that, to take buys up to that area. But yeah, looks good. Looks good. Sells below here, waiting for 30-minute close. Yeah, you probably want like a resistance to form for sales there, because it's priced in an uptrend. But yeah, it's a good idea. Very good. Yeah, and it's just continued to continue down. Yeah, we should see some more downside on EN today, so you want to wait for a resistance to form, because we even have below this support, we have another range at that point, right? And then we have another range. So you know, you're looking for these ranges, you're looking for potential resistances to continue price moving bearish. But we've got a lot of volume over here, so pound yen trying to move bullish, but obviously we've got to wait for support, right? We can't just be buying willy-nilly up over here. Makes no sense. We're gonna have to wait for a solid support to form, let price do its thing. Yeah, gold is a bit of a sticky situation right now. Gold's trying to create some support potentially on the 1 hour time frame. 4 hour. Yeah, if we start breaking above the highs over here, price should continue moving bullish. That's something I'm going to be looking at. 15-minute candle closing like a strong 15-minute candle. Yeah, once we start breaking above 1736, 1735, we'll be off to 1738 at that point. On the 5-minute time frame. So what's everyone looking at today? We've got any charts to come in? What's people looking at today? What's the plan? What's the ideas? Alright, bear with me guys, and we'll be back in like literally 2 minutes. Bear with me, bear with me.
Morning, everyone.
Hello?
How are you doing?
Hi,
guys?
Russell. Yeah, I thought that was you.
Yeah, I'm fine, thank you.
Cool. Looks like GJ just ran.
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah.
Kind of waiting for a support above here now.
Sorry about that, guys. Back. Morning, Salim. How's it going?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Not too bad. Right. Okay. I guess today MY is gonna range. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. I mean, right now, I'm not taking anything on GJ. I need to wait for some form of pullback. You know, we've been moving straight up for a while. Not looking to get caught out in any type of, you know, pullback at that point. I want to wait for some solid support. Even if I miss this whole push up and then we retrace, I'm happy with that. Because right now, we're creating some form of support over here, but it's going to be on the smaller time frames, and that's just not going to be what we want to see. We want to see something on the stronger, on the higher time frames. I hope it consolidates so GJ can have more liquidity to go up. Yeah, if we consolidate here for a little bit, then obviously, yeah, then we'd basically want to wait for a break above the highs, and then you can anticipate continuation, right? But that's when you get consolidation. When you get a pullback, you're waiting for support to continue that move up. I'm just waiting on gold. Oh yeah, looks like gold's moving up. We're breaking above 1735. Look on the 5 minute. Oh yeah, this 5 minute candle. It's broken above 1735. Yeah, see, it's exactly where I would have wanted to have been in buys if I didn't get my, if I didn't go get my what do you call it, cereal. Yeah, gold should continue pumping up to 1738 at this point. Yeah, so basically my idea was I was waiting for a 30-minute candle to close bullish over here, for the price to continue up to 1738. Obviously we've discussed this at the start of the stream. If you haven't, go take a listen. You're going to understand why I was looking for buys in this area. Right, so now we should start to head up. Obviously we had a 15-minute candle closing bullish, but I wanted to wait for the 30-minute. Good idea, because we had a deeper pullback. We now tapped into an area, created some further support, and now we're heading up. But it seems as though the entry was on the 5-minute time frame. I literally just missed it. This candle here closed above this high over here. You can have stops down over there, and then you're anticipating price to continue up to 1738 at that point. You know, once you see this candle doing this, you know, you can start to put stops to break even, because it's gold. You know, obviously that's up to you. You don't have to do that, but I probably would once I see it, you know, moving like 10 pips in profit. Anyone know what time the stream is starting? It started. We've been on for, I know I wasn't here, so I'm not gonna, but yeah, I haven't been talking for a little bit, but we start at 7. We start at 7 every day. But yeah, gold was a really nice play. It's just a shame that we didn't get a nice solid 30-minute support, and I would have been in buys all day. But I don't really trade the 5-minute, but this is something I've been looking at, and when we see this sort of thing happening, the 5-minute candle giving us that confirmation to say, okay, now we can start heading up. This would have been a good opportunity to take a buy over there, having the next 5-minute candle pushing up, and then good idea to have stops kind of like below this level. And then, like I say, once you see gold doing this, you can go break even at this point. So let's look at where we're at now. Obviously, if you took a buy right over here on the close of the 5-minute, you know, already you've got 13, 14 pips right now on this next 5-minute candle, right? So at that point, you can go break even and have a risk-free trade on gold. But pound yen, not my cup of tea today. So we got 30 seconds left for the 30-minute candle to close. So we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens. EN waiting for resistance to form. We're gonna have to wait for resistance to form to anticipate any further downside. But EN is dropping. You're gonna need to wait for resistance. It probably maybe even best to wait for a pullback to this area and then sell it. But we'll see. So we're keeping an eye on the 3 pairs today. I was gonna say, Salim, well done, mate, for putting your chart in the daily plannings channel on the Discord.
Oh yeah,
Been
you
the-
also know what it is. I like to do it. You know, it's just better to be prepared.
Oh yeah, 100%. No, it's just nice because I mean, you know, if people want to, they can put their, you know, their pre-charts in there, and I kind of like take a look when I first come on and just see. But yeah, mate, the chart is just spot on.
Yeah, thank you, bro. I appreciate it. I do appreciate that.
No, no worries, mate. No worries. You know, if you keep up that level of detail, like, you know, for many months, you're gonna see some major improvements. Trust me.
Yeah, definitely. It's a long-term game to be fair. You know.
Right. Okay. Let's start our breakdowns. So pound yen. Let's take a look from the weekly. Let's go from a weekly perspective. Let's remove all the drawings here for a sec. And let's pause the music, right? So what we'll do is we'll pause the music and we'll get talking about higher time frames. We'll get talking about what we want to look for, what it is that we're looking for here today. Remember, it may not happen in the London session. You know, if you think about it right now, okay, think about this, right? Look at the weekly, right? If this was a 30-minute chart, would you want to be buying right over here? Right? Probably not, right? So what are we looking for? We're looking for structure on the smaller time frames to suggest that we will continue this move up, because technically speaking, like right now we're at the highest point that we've been in a while, right? Obviously we've got information to the left, but you know, again, when we talk about market structure, etc., you want to be very careful about where it is that you are buying, right? Obviously that doesn't mean because you're at the top that you sell it. That's for cowboys, but it also means that you also want to be careful when you're buying, right? Because obviously, you know, we're at this historical high point. We know that when we see that, we see big rejections, we see big pullbacks, right? You see all these wicks. See all of these wicks here, 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 even this little one here, this one, this one, this one. These are all pullbacks, right? These are all pullbacks when we reach a certain price point after the high has been made. So with that same concept going forward, we don't particularly want to be buying right up at the high point, right? I mean, forget the weekly, but in general, if this was a candle, right, would we want to buy here? No, we'd want to wait to see some support and then buy. But anyway, looking left where we are on the weekly, I mean, technically speaking, right, the immediate left, we have this area, which is around, what price is that? That is around 152.850. Based on the weekly, this is where candles tell us that price can go. We have this wick to fill. We're about halfway there. We have a clean move on the weekly, and we can continue up. Now, we as a trader, we have to kind of read in between the lines a bit, and we have to say, okay, well, this is our clean move here, right? This is our clean move as we look left. But do we incur any other issues? Well, we're above all of this, so we haven't got to worry about this. But what do we potentially need to look at? Okay, well, what we need to potentially look at is we're approaching now, because you can see where this blue line is here, right? This is where we are right now when we look left. We are approaching this potential resistance, previous support, where we done a fake out from. Remember, you've got to look at the bigger picture. If I was to show you this zone, we would say, okay, well, price create a resistance over here, right? So let's like almost tell a story, yeah? So we have resistance formed. We had a previous resistance here. Price broke above on the weekly. We did a retest. We created support. We had this move up. Easy, simple. What happened next? This move up could not be sustained. We broke down below. We pulled back to this area. We tried to close back above this area. We couldn't because it was a fake out. We did a retest and we continued down. So this level, if as we look left, what price level is this? This is around 152. This is around 151,900. That kind of level. This is a strong level, right? So as we're looking left, where's the most likely place that price is going to go? Right over here, right? Based on the information that we had previously. Now, if we break above this area and we push through, then we can easily say, okay, right now we're going to head to this fake out area. This is the deeper area of liquidity. So we're going to head to there. But until we know that, until we get confirmation for that, we don't know that for sure, right? So that's just based off the weekly. Looking on the daily, what other information do we have? Right? Now, we've seen the picture on the weekly. What's the picture on the daily? Well, the picture on the daily was we had this previous level of support over here. We're above that now. So where's our next target? Right over here. We have a daily resistance level around 152,500, right? So this would be the next target for price to move up, right? That's what we're kind of looking at based on the daily. So we can see these clean moves, but then again, what other information do we have? Well, we had a resistance right over here from previous. Okay, so this is an important level. What area is that? Oh, same area, around 151,900. What was that? And strong level on the weekly. So again, you're just trying to build a picture. So that's the most likely place that we can head off to today if we do. Now, as we look on the 4-hour time frame, now we can start to just focus on what's to the left hand side, right? When we get there, right here. So as we look on the 4-hour, now where can we get to? Well, we can kind of see what's going on here on the 4-hour. Seems as though we had a previous support level right over here on the 4-hour time frame. Again, where is that near? 151,900. So we know now that looking left many times that this is a strong level. This is an area that we can definitely come back to. So this area in particular is pretty much where we're kind of like looking at as a target for continuation, right? You can see where we're at right now. We're reacting to this previous level here, perfectly fine. So what do we need to see? We need to see some support above here to get to here in order for price to continue. You have to put conditions. What will make price go up? Well, obviously candles printing bullish, fine. But what's going to happen? There has to be, price doesn't just go literally on every time frame, bullish candle after bullish candle. Even if it looks like that on the 30-minute, you go to the 15, you're bound to see one bearish candle. Don't see that on the 15, go to the 5. You're bound to see at least one bearish candle. So again, you need to be looking at the structure. You need to be looking at what's gonna make price go up, or what am I looking for if we don't go up. So as we come back to where we're at now, we can see the 4-hour is currently pulling back after breaking the high, which is good for us. We want it to pull back. 1-hour candle is also pulling back at this point. Let's look on the 30-minute. 30-minute candle is also pulling back. It creates so this is perfect. Why is this perfect? Because what happens now? We now have a high created. We now have a resistance being created, which is our high point. If we have a high point, what does that mean? That means that if we're going to continue with the trend, we need to create some support somewhere, and then we need to continue. Okay, so if anything, people who are thinking, oh man, there's no buys now, there's no buys now, there's no buys right now, but there will be later with the correct confirmation. So as it stands, price is making a high right now, which is good. What we wanted to see. You know, a lot of people wouldn't have liked it if we just continued printing up, and they're like, oh man, I missed a move. Well, yeah, you missed a move because we needed to wait for a support. We didn't get that. It's very rare. It's very rare that candles are just gonna fly up. Even this move here, right? Everyone's gonna be like, oh well, there wasn't confirmation. And based on the way that I trade, yeah, you're right. There wasn't much confirmation. We tried to create some support over here. Couldn't really work out. We came back down. We did a little fake out and we continued, right? But effectively, you know, people are going to look at these candles and they're going to be like, oh, that was a really hard move to catch. And it's like, yeah, it is. It is a very difficult move. But for someone who's more maybe experienced, may say, okay, well, I need to go to the smaller time frames to see what's going on. Okay, so as we look on the smaller time frames, we can see, okay, no indication of support being formed apart from this area here. But again, these clean candles up. And then as you look on the 5-minute, 5 minutes going to give you an opportunity to see, okay, where's some support being created. And then you can see that we created support right over here. Again, on the 5. Here's your 5-minute structure to say, okay, we're creating a support, and then you had this move up. Not saying that this is going to be your entry requirement every time, but for someone who knows, okay, well, we're looking for buys above 151,200. We've broken above that now. We've made a high above that level. We've pulled back below that level. We've formed support. We've moved back above the range, and now we're creating a minor support within the middle of the range, and then you can anticipate that we should break through and continue, right? That's someone who's trying to build a picture, trying to understand like if anything, the story behind the move, right? There's always a story behind the move. If you can tell, obviously I know it's something that Raja likes to talk about, but it really does help you in a way, because it's not just about, oh well, we're creating support, blah blah blah. It's about, okay, tell me a story, read the candles, understand what happened. So we can say what happened because we know that we were looking for buys above 151,200. Well, what happened? We came above 151,200, price made a high. We formed support, couldn't be sustained. We couldn't break above the high, lack of volume. Closed back in the range, not enough volume to go down. Price closed back above. If we're closing back above the range, that means this move down was a fake out. If this move down was a fake out, there's a higher probability that we're going to break through the other way. So now you have to say, okay, well, how could I have caught this situation here? Well, that, like you can see, candle broke the high. So the candle broke the high with volume to continue. Where would you have placed stops? Probably below this area here would have been safe. Below that fake out zone would have been safe. Right? So again, you have to be telling yourself, almost reading yourself the situation, and that's going to help a lot. There's something that, you know, when he spoke about it, I thought to myself, that's quite a good idea, because at the end of the day I can tell myself, okay, well, you know, you can almost literally go candle by candle and say, well, this candle closed bearish below this level, this candle then closed like a weak bullish candle, this candle had no wick to the bottom, this candle also had no wick to the bottom, signaling that we could not break this support here. This, even though it was a weak candle, we could not break down below that. We closed back in the range, little wick down, support made on the 5 minute, broke above the highs, broke above this resistance, momentum to continue up to fill this wick. You're telling a story, you're trying to understand what's going on, you're trying to read between the lines. So it's kind of like similar to what we're looking at now. Right, what's the situation here? We had a late move up in the Asian session. We know that London is going to potentially have some more volume. Does that mean we're going to continue? Not necessarily. We may pull back after creating a high. Now we've created this high, perfect situation. We've got this liquidity area here. So maybe this is an area where we're going to start to see some bullish candles form. If we see a bullish candle form here, it would create this clean move to the left hand side, and then we can anticipate price is going to come back above and retest that high. Okay, so you're just trying to build a picture, build the story overall. So right now, I mean, we're obviously waiting for this 30-minute candle to close. We can see on the 15-minute time frame, obviously we've closed back below this area, which is perfectly fine. So again, you're just kind of waiting here. You know, the 1 hour candle's still open. So I think we need to see a proper pullback. But until you see candles print, you can't like anticipate. Like, you can't think, okay, well, you can't say, okay, well, this candle, you know, it may flip bullish. You just have to wait until it does. You can say to yourself, okay, if it does flip bullish, then it makes sense for price to continue up. If it doesn't, if it closes bearish, then I'm going to wait to see if we can form a bullish candle here, or I'm going to wait to see if we can get a deeper retracement. Maybe a bullish candle over here would also make sense. So, you know, you just want to basically build that. You just want to envision it, you know, envision what you want to see print. And if it doesn't print exactly how you want to see it, then think about what it is that, you know, potentially that would make the most sense based on what you're seeing. You know, keep that same idea in mind. If you have the idea in mind, then these situations, you know, you just have to deal with the slight change of situation. So, but yeah, it looks like gold nearly came up to 1738. It literally did tap 1738, but let's look on the 5 minute. Yeah, so we know. Yeah, so exactly. So from where I said buys could have been taken on the 5 minute right over here, stops below this minor support area here. You just had to clean move up. You can go on break even, secure positions at 1738. Try to leave a runner to run. If you get stopped out, that's perfectly fine. But yeah, that's exactly what we wanted to see on gold. First time ever looking really at the 5 minute on gold, but it's something that I was like looking at, because I was like, okay, so this candle closed back below, so if this just goes up, there's no confirmation, right? Someone's gonna bet no confirmation. There's always a confirmation. Yeah, you gotta understand the difference. If the 30-minute candle just runs up, the 30-minute candle runs up. If you trade the 30-minute time frame, then yes, you missed the move. But there was a confirmation. Where was the confirmation? We go to 15. You could say this candle was a confirmation. Good situation, fine. But was there a better confirmation? Then you go down to your smaller time frames, and you can see the candle that gave you the actual confirmation to say price is going to continue moving up. Right? You can even argue here was a confirmation. You can argue that, because if we can't break down, if we're creating supports, then the next situation we're going to head back to is resistance, right? So again, understand what's happening in the market. But yeah, I think overall gold was a pretty nice move. Wasn't the best situation, like higher time frames, you know, if you get a solid 30-minute candle closing bullish here, that's a better opportunity, no doubt about it. But again, if you're saying to yourself, oh, I missed the move, I waited for the 30-minute candle to close, it doesn't matter about you missing it. That's not the point. Go and see how you could have caught it, and then you can, okay, after 20 times of seeing this happen, now you can confidently say, all right, well, this bullish candle may not, it's got 15 minutes to close, it's moving up pretty hard, I may not get what I want to see here, so maybe I'm going to start looking on the 5-minute or the 15-minute to start to see if I can see that confirmation that I've been seeing these past 10-20 times. So it's all about repetition. You know what I'm saying? You get me? Okay. Anyway, let's answer a couple questions. Should it retest again at the break zone? It may do. We don't know that. We can't say it will, and we can't say it won't. We just have to wait to see what it does. If it comes down here, I think that's good. But then you have to think, right? If this comes right back down here, what is this whole zone then gonna be? This is going to be a fat retracement wick on the daily, right? This is also going to be a big rejection on the 4-hour. So then you have to say to yourself, okay, well, it's not just about waiting for a support, not like just waiting for one bullish candle. It's about understanding what's going to give you the highest confirmation to tell me that we can continue that move back up. What's going to tell me that, right? But we don't really know where price can retrace to. All you can do is look at the most likely areas. Where's our most likely area? Here, because we're above the zone, or here, and then even here, or here. These are your most likely places support will be created. It can be created here, it can be created right here. We don't know. You just have to you know, look for your places that you think that it may go to, and then wait for the candle to print there. This area here is a liquidity zone. Why? Because we broke the low and we continue bullish. So we know that. This is so when price is moving up and it hits a point where it can't break up, I'm always looking to see, okay, where was liquidity generated? Where was support formed? Well, everyone's going to say, well, this is support. Yes, this is support on the 30-minute, but where else was support? If you're seeing wicks like this suggests that support has been created on the smaller time frames, like the 5 and maybe the 15-minute. So then you say to yourself, okay, well, maybe we're going to tap back into this buy zone, this liquidity area, and then start to drive up, right? So that is what you're thinking about. Okay. Is Vantage FX better than KOT 4X? Well, I mean, I can tell you that Vantage FX is good. That's my current broker at the moment. But I don't know who that broker is. KOT Forex. I can take a look. KOT Forex, because I'm a nice guy. So obviously, what you want to do with a broker is you want to go and look at their reviews. Right, you will look at their reviews, but let's take a look at their account. Got 1 to 500 leverage. This is not a broker that I've heard of, right? Usually I hear of. Let's look at their account types. So they got ECN, that's good. So they've got you want. Oh, they've got ECN STP. Interesting. It's usually one or the other, but. So this is where things get confusing for me. I'm not going to try and work it out because I don't know. Usually you either get an ECN account or you get an STP account. So you need to go and do your research and find out the difference. Obviously I can tell you, but you're going to learn better when you go and look it up yourself. You know, someone can tell me, but I'm not going to remember, say, half of it. But if I go and research myself, I'm more likely to remember it, right? But yeah, I would say looking at it, I don't know. I think you need to go do your research. But I can vouch for Vantage. Like, I can say Vantage is a good broker. I've used them personally, so I can say that. But I can't talk about this broker because I don't know them. I don't know this broker. Like I don't really know anything about them, so I can't really. Yeah, you probably want to look at their reviews. Where is it? There should be like a review. There should be like a website that actually reviews all the brokers. I'm not gonna try and find it now, but I mean that would be your best option. Or yeah, like Justin just said, open up a demo account and test it. But I mean, if you're looking for an actual broker that you're like, okay, I don't really know enough about them. Can anyone recommend a broker? You know, I've personally worked with Vantage FX. Withdrawals have been really, really good. My first withdrawal that I've done the other week, it came within 2 days. The other one was a little bit delayed, no lie. Like there's no I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh yeah, it comes within 2 days every time. The other one, it took like 6 days, but the point is you get your withdrawals. They've been really good with support. You know, I'm gonna vouch for a broker. You know, I have a platform here and we have a community. So if I've personally worked with a broker and I know that they're a good broker and I can recommend them, then I'm gonna do so, right? But yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna just go, oh yeah, well that K2, yeah, they look good, go do that. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna try and, you know, get you to do your own research. Don't even take my word for it about Vantage. Go do your own research. I think that's the best thing to do. But yeah, I think Vantage is a good broker. Blackball good, and then I'm potentially moving over to a new broker actually that gonna give me quite a good deal, called Pacific Union. Gonna have an affiliate with them, but yeah, that's coming soon. That's in the progress. But yeah, they're pretty good. They're gonna give me, because they're gonna give me they're gonna give me like a affiliate where I can give anyone that goes through it a much better deal on commission, which is a big thing. So yeah, I'm gonna offer that all to people in the group and stuff. If they want to move over, they're gonna get a much better deal than probably what they've got. But again, brokers, it's all up to you. You know what I mean? It's your money at the end of the day, so you need to know where you want to be putting your money. Okay, I'm not clear on the liquidity area. Can you explain again? Okay, so liquidity area just suggests. All right, let's put it this way, right? Whenever you see wicks like this, situations like this, where let's like this situation here, right? This suggests that liquidity was being generated to push price higher up. Okay, let's see another example. Another example would be right over here. Here you have liquidity being generated for price to head up. Why? Because candles come down, they leave fat rejection wicks like this, and then usually you see price go the other way. That is a liquidity grab. Happened here. You had a bearish candle come down, tapped into a certain area, specific price level. You can see there was wicks before, suggesting a liquidity zone, tapped into it and went the other way. Also happened here. We generated more liquidity back above the zone. This was the buys we took yesterday, and continued moving up. Exactly why we were confident in the buys, because there was a lot of liquidity being generated. Other times though, you have to differentiate between a liquidity zone and a potential like a potential wick fill. So in this situation you had the same situation, but these wicks got filled. That suggests that, you know, potentially that there was actually more bearish sentiment at that point. But yeah, I mean, liquidity zone is exactly that. It's almost like a rejection. It can work in the reverse. Like at this moment in time, this was a liquidity zone to head down. So what do we want to see? We want to see liquidity being generated over here to head up. We want to know that the sentiment has changed in that zone. So I think that's a really important concept for people to understand. Right, so in terms of this liquidity zone, so what we're basically saying is when you see these wicks and prices made a high, this is the most likely place we're going to come back to, because we need to generate more liquidity. Price moves based on liquidity being generated. Liquidity is almost the generation of the buyers in the market, the sellers in the market. So when you come back to a certain level, you tend to see more movement. You tend to see more activity. Why? Because this is a liquidity zone, which actually means, let's say that you're an institution and you see prices back at, I'm just saying for example, this isn't, you know, accurate, but let's say you're back at 151, 450, you know that, okay, we're back to a potential area where they look for potential buys or plays, right? So that's something that you're looking for, okay? But yeah, like I say, simple concept, but what does this really mean? What is this here, right? What is this? Let's go to the smaller time frames and find out. If we go to 15 minute, now it makes sense. It's a support. It's a support. So that's all it is. You can see it was a support formed. Where are we heading off to? We're coming back to this area because we couldn't break above here. So where are we coming back? Here. If we break this, then we're coming down to here, right? Does that mean I want to take a sell from here to here? No. Why? Because we could come down and close back above and generate a deeper liquidity area. So no, I'm not going to do that. But what I am going to do is to see if we get reactions here to potentially say, well, okay, if we're seeing reactions here, that means we've pulled back now. If we're going to break this high or potentially come and close back above here, it would make sense to see further upside. But we need confirmations for all these ideas, you know. But right now, I'm just chilling. You know, there's nothing going on right now. You know, look at the and the other thing as well. You have to pay attention to the way candles form. This candle left a wick, right? The next one moved up and then closed bearish. So the minute I saw that, the minute this next candle, this bearish candle was moving up, I was thinking, okay, well, look at the way the previous one done. It went up first and then closed bearish. What did this one do? Went up first, closed bearish. What may this one do? May wick up first and then may close bearish. Remember that. If it doesn't, then you can say, okay, well, maybe something's changing here. Maybe the situation is changing. So just keep that in the back of your mind. But again, we're just chilling. Gold should continue moving up. See, this is a liquidity grab on gold, right? Because we're generating this liquidity over here now to continue this move up. We left a wick. That means there's a slight rejection. And then that suggests now that we're breaking this low, that we're generating more liquidity above this resistance. And then we should hit this area now on gold, right? So that would mean then this wick, this bottom wick here, gave you another opportunity to get into the market. Where's that? Oh, look what we can see happening on the smaller time frames. What can we see? We can see a support being created right over here. So if you think about it, here when we left these wicks up over here, these became rejection, smaller time frame rejection, aka just a little pullback. This becomes resistance. When we pull back and you see the same thing happening here, this becomes support. So if we can't break down here, where are we going? It means we're probably going to come up and fill these wicks and then potentially continue on, right? So you're looking for these signs on the smaller time frames as well. This can happen on the higher time frames, because remember, candles print the same on all time frames. You'll see the same structure. You'll see this on the 5 minute, you'll see this on the 30 minute, you'll see this on the 4 hour, you'll see this on the 1 hour, you'll see this on the daily, you'll see this on the weekly, you'll see this on the monthly. So understand, if you can read candles on the weekly, you can read candles on the daily. You can understand the 4 hour, you can understand the 1 hour. Obviously, as you get into the 5 minutes, it's a lot more choppy. Of course, it's a lot more choppy, but it's not the point. You're understanding the structure. You're understanding what's really going on. So yeah, gold is obviously a difficult situation, but in theory, it should continue moving up. You know, there's going to be pullbacks, there's going to be choppiness on the smaller time frames, but we discussed the original gold buy, which was above here, 1735 up to 1738, and that's that. And what can we see happening on this 30-minute candle? It made it top wick first, and now it's starting to retrace. So if this candle flips, where are we heading off to? This area, or potentially back down to this area. But that does not mean at all that you're taking sells below this buy zone down to here. Because why? Because we know, and from what I've seen over the time, is that whenever price breaks down below a support in an uptrend, right, there's a high chance, not a higher chance, but a high chance it can fake out, right? If price is in an uptrend and it breaks above resistance, there's a lower chance that it's going to fake out. Why? Because we're in the uptrend. We're creating higher highs. you know what I'm saying? You have to understand the structure of the market, you know. But yeah. So EN did continue down to our target area. But again, you know, if you're looking at this situation here and you said, oh, we never create resistance, you're right, we didn't on the 15 minute, on the 30 minute, which is where I would have liked to have seen the resistance being created. However, on the 5 minute, there was resistance created. Again, you're looking on the smaller time frame to see where was my confirmation. Well, probably right over here. We had a support formed on the 5. We had this bearish candle close below, and then look, we had a continuation. This 5 minute candle created resistance after a low being created. We retested that low and we continued down. So when you see price trending, then you're looking at the smaller time frames. But I think overall, if I was looking for sales on a yen, I probably would want to see a pullback, and resistance on the higher time frames would be safer and better. But again, if you're looking for short term plays, then that's what you're looking for. Everybody happy with that? Okay. I try. You don't need to use Bitcoin like with. I don't know. You're gonna have to have a look. I use City Index now. Haven't heard of them. I do most futures. Okay. Because you want big leverage. Yeah, Vantage has good leverage. Pacific Union has good leverage. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I've already tested them on demo some time ago. Not that great spreads, and when you add the commissions, then it just doesn't make sense. Yeah, I think that's a good point, because obviously sometimes it's best to like test a broker out with a demo, or actually like, you know, go and do your research. Guys, go take a check on WikiFX. They give ratings to various brokers. Okay, yep, go do that. Go look at WikiFX. WikiFX. Let's take a look. Is it this one? Okay, so yeah, it goes through all the brokers. So let's look at your one. What was it called? KOT. There we go. Let's see what they think about this one. See, there you go. So they're a white label broker. Oh, okay, there you go. So they got a 1.32 score. They're not regulated. They've been around for 2 to 5 years. Suspicious regulatory license. Okay, well there you go. So if people don't know what a white label means, then you want to go do your research. But white label basically means that this broker is working off the back of another broker. That's what it basically means. So basically what it means is it's like it's almost like you're paying to use their systems, their but you're trading under a different name. So KOT Forex is probably a white label for a bigger broker at that point. So if we look at, let's say, Vantage FX, if we look at Vantage FX, let's see what they say about Vantage FX. See, they got a much better score, 4.55. They're regulated in the Cayman Islands, right? They got a full MT4, MT5 license, so they're not a white label broker. They've been around for 2 to 5 years. Much better broker. Now FXCM, they was my first broker, right? FXCM was my first broker, right? They've been going for 15 to 20 years. They got an 8.11 score, fully licensed, regulated in Australia. So if you want someone like that, that makes sense. But then you're not gonna have what's it called? You're not gonna have what do you call it? You're not gonna have high leverage. Okay, if we take a look at black bull markets, because black bull markets is another good one. If they come up, They might not all be registered on here, but okay, maybe black bull markets aren't, but that's fine because I know them. They're a good broker, so it's perfectly cool. Anyway, so yeah, as you can see, 30-minute candles flipping bearish. You have to wait. We're just waiting over here. So the 1 hour candle closed bearish. So we're potentially going to see some form of pullback. Pullback, pullback, pullback. So yeah, so there you go, guys, you know. So shout out to Jayan for giving that website there, so all of you can go check your brokers now. I know some of you are going to be panicking like, oh god damn, gotta check your brokers now. So yeah, go do that. Go check your brokers. Oh, is it just black bull? Yeah, just type black bull. Oh yeah, they've come up. Oh yeah, they got a fantastic score. 7.19, fully licensed, regulated in New Zealand. Perfect. So again, and they're regulated, so you got no problems. You know, go and do. The thing is, people just this is the thing about trading, right? I mean, I'm not gonna bash people because I did the same. I didn't really research about brokers, but when I took trading seriously, I knew I needed to know about brokers. If you don't know your stuff about brokers, you know, would you just go and give your life? Would you go and give your savings to a bank you've never heard of? Would you just go and give it to a bank because they have a website? No, you do your research. You want to know about that bank. They've got your money. You're giving them your money. So you need to go do your research. Too many people don't do their research on brokers. They don't go and have a look. They don't understand how brokers work. You know, you've got to be educated. You've got to educate yourself. Okay. Thanks, very clearly explained on liquidity area, no problem. I try Vantage FX, I hear a lot good about them. Okay, I see, perfect, no worries. Is Tickmill a good broker? I don't know, go use this website, WikiFX, go check out for yourself, or go do your own research. You know, I didn't mind taking a look at a couple brokers, but that's it. You've got the information. Go and look for yourself. Tick mills. Okay. Let's check out this chart over here. Come on, guys. Let's get some charts. We've only had like 2 charts here today. Yesterday was a great day for charts. Anyway, I enjoy looking at charts because it makes the time go by, you know. Okay, so this is pound US dollar. Buys if closes bullish, sells. Yeah, okay, so you're looking for a buy if we create support. I think that it makes sense, but you obviously got to look at your risk to reward perspective and maybe try and even look on the 15-minute to see if we're already creating some support. Because look, whenever you're seeing a wick like this, that means support is being created on the smaller time frame. So go look at that. Go see what you think. Obviously, you don't need to trade it, but start looking at how you can basically look to, you know, see what's going on here. And then if you miss it, let's say the next candle just goes up and you missed the move, then you know that there was support being created on the smaller time frames here, and you could look how you could have traded that. But yeah, I think it's a good idea. But I think with yourselves, I think you're going to probably want to see a resistance forming because it's quite a heavy uptrend as well. Okay, type black, yeah, done that. What's your opinion on trend lines and risk to reward versus win rate? Win rate. So my opinion on trend lines is it depends. It depends if you've tested them out. I had, and they didn't really work well for me. So I don't really look at trend lines. So for me, I don't think they're any good, but again, some people find them useful. You know, occasionally it works out. Like let's just say, for example, on the 4 hour, like let's just say in terms of trend, you can quite easily draw a trend line here and say, yeah, we're in this heavy uptrend, right? But is that really helping you? Are you really going to buy it every time it taps that trend line? No, because you need you need more substance than that, right? So I think just understand market structure. If you can zoom out, right? If you can zoom out and look at it, then you don't need a trend line to tell you we're in an uptrend. You don't need a trend line to tell you that every time we have a pullback on the 4 hour, we continue. So if you can go and understand that, then you don't need to have a trend line. So that's what I think about that. I think that we're coming down as well now on the 30 minute, which is good. After we created this weak 15 minute, we're now breaking down below this support, which is pretty good. So we've made a high, we're retracing, moving bearish at this point. Exactly what we spoke about. And remember what I spoke about, watch how candles form. We saw how this candle formed, we saw how this candle formed, and we spoke about how this candle has created that same top wick. It should flip bearish. Got 10 minutes left. It may come back bullish, but at least we know then that we're tapping into this area and now we're starting to head back up, right? So understand that concept. What else we got here? Boom, boom, boom. Oh yeah, we said trend lines and risk to reward versus win rate. So risk to reward is, I think, is pretty subjective. It's up to you. Like, I can't tell you not to do it. But I think risk to reward is important when it comes to, I'll tell you this, I'll tell you what is important with risk to reward, and that's when you're going to enter a trade. I'll give an example. Let's say you want to take a buy. Let's say you want to take a buy because you see this bullish candle form here, right? But let's say, for example, your reward, because you have a resistance here, let's just say, for example, your resistance line is here, and let's say you measure this range and you're like, okay, it's about a 15 pip range. Okay, so you've got a 15 pip range. That means your reward is around 15 pips. Okay, now let's say, for example, your risk, however, I don't know, let's add this wick a bit longer, right? So let's just say this kind of had a big rejection wick, and now your risk is also 15 pips. That's a 1-to-1. That's a 1-to-1 risk to reward. Is that worth it? That's very subjective. Some people may say yes, some people may say no. Some people want to maintain a higher risk to reward. So let's say, for example, it wasn't 15 pips and it was 10 pips, a 10 pip risk to a 15 pip reward. Now that makes sense, because then, if you lose that trade, you could have had a 15 pip win. So if you go to take that same trade again, then you're in profits, right? Because now you have 15 pips. But if it works on the reverse, and your stop loss is going to be 17 pips, but your reward is 15 pips, is that going to make sense to take that trade? Probably not, in my opinion. Probably not. So for me, when it comes to risk to reward, I'm not focusing on, oh, I only take trades that have a 3-to-1. I only take trades that have a 4-to-1, so that I can lose 2 and only have to win 1 trade. I'm not focusing on that. I'm focusing on where's my target. So aka, what's my reward and what's my risk? Does it make sense to take a trade where you're risking the same to make the same? Potentially, if it's a good setup. Does it make sense to take a trade that your risk is higher than the reward? No. Anyone would probably tell you that's a bad investment, right? So I would say that situation is not a good situation. But in terms of, if you want to do only trade 1-to-5s, that's completely up to you. I can't say for you not to do that, because that's part of whatever plan you have. But what I can advise you and say is, I would say you don't really want to be looking at taking a 20 pip stop loss for a 10 pip reward, or a 20 pip risk for a 15 pip reward. It makes no sense, because now if you take 2 losses with that same risk to reward setup, that's not going to end. That's not looking good, is it? It's not ending well. So that's all I really focus and care about. So I think that should answer your question. And then obviously, because of win rate, I mean, if you have a 1-to-4 risk to reward, that basically suggests that you can have, let's say, about a 25% win rate and still be profitable. Is that something that you want? I don't know. If you can deal with that and it turns out profitable, that's fine. But you have to test that idea. You can't just say, oh well, I'll just go and do it. You have to go and test that. Otherwise, win rate should be the highest focus anyway, because your win rate is what takes you either being a profitable trader or not. Some can have a low win rate and can be profitable, but then it's a lot harder because you have to be a lot more strict, because you can't then, close just a partial bit of profit. You can't then go, actually, you know what, I'm seeing price react to this area, it's at 2 to 1, I'm going to close out here, if you're saying you're doing 4 to 1s, because then the next time you take a trade, it's going to be disproportionate to what you've planned to do. Okay, so I would just focus on that, but I don't want to overcomplicate it and whatnot. But I think that should answer your question. Is IC Market a good broker? I've never personally worked with them, but I have heard good things, so I'm gonna say yes. But like I always say, go do your own research, because you should never take anyone's word for anything, and that's the best advice I can give you. I try a lot of brokers, plus 500, trade zone, so regulated broker don't have big leverage, like I need, if you're looking for a 1 to 500 leverage, we spoke about this, you got Vantage, you got Blackball, there's plenty of options, plenty of options that all have 1 to 500 leverage. What about FIPS? Are they good or not? Again, I don't think they work personally, but if it's part of your trading plan and it helps you win, then yeah, you can do that. I'm only just gonna say, for me, I don't like using anything. I just like reading the candles. No fib was gonna tell me that the next candle was gonna go bearish here. This candle told me that. No candle told me that this candle was gonna wick up, break the low, and head down. No fib. That candle told me that. The smaller time frames will tell you that. The candles tell you that. All these indicators, all these retracement lines, all these fibs, all these, all they're telling you. Like if you look at the structure, right? Price is telling you the structure. Okay, we had support, high made, broke above. High made, support. We're now breaking down below that support. We're now creating resistance below that support. Higher probability of further downside. Read the structure, understand what's going on. That's going to give you more information than any single indicator out there. I don't care if you've got the craziest robot that can tell you when volume's going to come in. It means nothing. The previous candle is going to tell you where the next one's going to go. Most of the time. Obviously not every single time. It's the market. It's supposed to be unpredictable. But if you can understand what you're looking at, then you can read between the lines. But again, all these indicators, they just indicate. They can only give you an indication. They can't actually show you where price is going to go. So, honestly. So yeah, it looks like we're retracing right back to that zone. So have a look on the 4 hour now. What's going on the 4 hour? We made a high. What happens every time we make a high on the 4 hour? We see some form of pullback. 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 Let's go through it. Pullback. New high. Pullback. 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 Okay, little pullback. Pullback, pullback, pullback. High made, pullback. Pullback, pullback, pullback. Okay? You could literally go through every single example. Every time we make a higher level of price, we have a pullback. We had a higher level here than we had previously. We had a pullback. You've got to understand, right? You've got to understand. This is exactly what's happening right now. We are pulling back because we've reached a higher point. Do you know what pullbacks mean? Go and do your research, right? What does a pullback actually suggest when price has made a higher high? What is the market? The market is an exchange of hands. It's an exchange of buyers versus sellers. So what does that mean? What does it mean when price is retracing from a higher level? It suggests buyers are exiting the market. Why would a buyer be exiting the market? Because they're taking profits. If you're an institution, or if you're a high level corporate trader or whatever, I'm not giving, I'm not saying it's accurate, but whoever it is, the big players in the market, right? Your institutions, your hedge funds, your pension funds, your insurance funds, go and understand how and who plays the game, who you're up against, right? What are they doing? They're taking profits. Why? Because they know what happens. They know what happens when price is moving up. What happens when price moves up? People think price is going to continue because there's so much volume. So what happens? But what's going to happen after that? There's going to be a support formed, and they're going to buy it right back up again, because now they're getting it at a better price again to continue that momentum. So go and understand all these concepts. A lot of traders like to talk about things, but they won't actually go and tell you the basic fundamental. The basic fundamental about the market is buyers versus sellers. Okay, it's buyers versus sellers. So it's an exchange of hands. Remember, every time you're taking a buy in a trade, do you even know what actually that means? Do you know that? If you want to be a full-time trader, do you know that concept? That if you're in a buy, that means there's somebody else on the other end of that trade. There's somebody on the other end of that trade. Because it's an exchange of hands. It's an exchange of money. It's an exchange of buyers versus sellers. So go and understand these things, and I think you're going to understand the market a lot better and easier. So we've been, and there you go. EN tapped into this area. We're now seeing the retracement. So what do we wait for? Resistance. Now we must wait for resistance. What happens if we don't and it closes back in the range? Yeah, you might have caught this good sell down, but again, you want to get that confirmation. And would you look at that? What did gold do? It generated that liquidity right over here that we discussed to continue this move up. 1738 target was reached. Job done. What do we do? You can look on the smaller time frames and you can understand what was going on. We spoke about this liquidity being generated to continue price up. So we're just waiting at this point because we can't really do anything. Did I want to take sells from here to here? No. Why? Because it's not going to work out that's not going to work out 70% of the time. So we're just waiting over here. We are waiting. I mean, there may be no trade in the stream here today, but I'm still going to be waiting for after the session, right? So now we must wait for a support to form. Okay, I use City Index now. Very good, not big enough leverage. Well, then you want to go and find a broker with better leverage. I put them in the description. I put recommended brokers. Talk about them a fair bit. So there's go and look them up, go and look in the description, go and do your research on that broker if you want a good leverage, if you want a good trusted broker. I use them myself, but go and do your own research, because then no one can come back to me and be like, oh man, you said this broker was good. Well, go do your own research then, and then you'll find out for yourself, won't you? Can you explain how impulse entries work out in a trending market? Yeah, we can talk about that in a minute. We will talk about that in a minute. We will certainly talk about that in a sec. Anyone shorting? Well, I'm certainly not, but it's up to the other people, isn't it? But I think the better option would be to wait for a support to take a buy. That's going to be the better option. That's going to give yourself the best option. I'm waiting GJ consolidate so I can take entry when it breaks through the range. Yeah, me personally, I'm going to wait for a support to form at this area. So pretty much a support above 151 200 will give you a good option.
Yeah, especially if it's like a solid 30-minute, 1 hour candle.
Yeah. I mean, we
Wouldn't
will
be taking anything on the 15 though, because like.
yeah, 30 minute or 1 hour at least. Yeah, I mean, we was talking about it before the stream. Like, obviously we created the support here. We said, okay, yeah, it may push up a little bit, but how many times is that going to work out of 10? Probably 3, if not 2, because we have resistance right here, and you can see, I said, we were talking about it. There's probably going to be a deep retracement because we've moved up so much. We haven't even created support, so now it just becomes easy. You're just waiting now for a bullish candle. I mean, you could probably, I'm not obviously talking to you, Kelsey, I'm just saying in general, but you could probably tell a 5-year-old to do that. Here's the red candles, wait for a blue one to print on the 30-minute time frame. You know what I mean?
That's what we were talking about the other day, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like, if we just let someone else do it, like a 5-year-old, they'll probably do better because they have no idea of like the psychology behind it.
Yeah, and they don't have that attachment to money. They don't have that emotion side. It's pretty simple. You price makes a high. You wait for a bullish candle, and you click the button. But yeah, no, that's yeah, we were laughing about that one. Now we've got 64 people and 14 likes. What's going on, people? I've been dropping some nugs today. Oh, EN coming back in the range. Man, so we got to wait for resistance. Look at that 4-hour rejection. At the end of the day, right? If you look at the situation, yeah, you can take plays down to this level. It makes sense, right? But at the same time, you got to understand that for this move to be sustained, a resistance has to be formed in order for price to continue down. If a resistance isn't formed, then there's that potential of a fake out, which is exactly what's happening right now. And gold looks like it wants to continue. Got support created on the 1 hour. I think we've reached that daily level as well. So now the next target is going to be 1760, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if we're going to get there. But there's a lot of bullish momentum at the moment. So if you missed this move on gold, obviously you're going to have to have a look how you could have caught that. It was difficult, I'll give you that, but still. You're going to have to just go and take a look. But pound is coming down. Yes, you're right. That's why I tried different broker. Fair enough. Love from India. Oh, thank you very much. I love hearing where people are from, I have to admit. It's like, it's pretty amazing actually, like how we have such a community where got people from all around the world, like all trying to move up in this world. Are you saying that buys once price rejects 151 200? I'm saying that if we create a support above 151 200, there's a higher probability that we will continue back up to retest this high. That is what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. If we do not create support, then we're coming right back in the range, and this move will be a fake out on the 4 hour. Okay, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying if you see a rejection, you just take a buy. I'm not telling you to even buy if you see a bullish candle. I'm saying what I'm looking for a support above 151 200. You know, but obviously I have to see how the candles print to know whether it's a strong enough confirmation for me to want to take it, because this is a rejection. We know that every time we see a pullback on the 4 hour, we could pull back. If we don't wait for support, there's that probability that we just come right back in the range, and if we do, it's not a good situation. So we're gonna have to wait, probably be a little bit more patient, see what happens. Added my like, sorry to be late. No problem. I'm only joking when I say I'll drop a like on, well, I'm not joking, obviously I want people to drop a like on the stream, but obviously you don't have to do anything. I just appreciate it. But anyway, let's get the tunes back on because it's a little bit silent and all I can hear is this wind in the background. Anyone else from the UK? It's like heavy winds here today. I mean, ridiculous winds. Winds. Ever heard of Estonia? Yes, I've heard of Estonia. I presume that's where you're from. I'm from Malaysia. Oh, nice. Nice. I'm from Pakistan. Awesome. Where's everybody else from in the YouTube chat? Let us know where you're from in the world. How many people we got from the UK? How many other people we got from the UK? Right, bear with me 2 secs. I'm just gonna run to the toilet and then I'm gonna be back in a moment. Okay. Sorry about that. Right. Let's go on to 30-minute candles. Still got like 7 minutes left to close. Look on the 15-minute. Seems like the 15-minute time frame is trying to create potentially some support. But the thing is, if you take a look on the 5-minute time frame, we are still creating this resistance structure, potentially even over here as well now. So I think you're going to need to wait for the 15-minute candle to close and then potentially start to see a change in structure, aka like a higher level of support being formed than, let's say, currently here, because now you can see support not being respected, support not being respected, support potentially not being respected. So we need to wait to start to see if we can start to see rejections of this area and then some form of higher level of support, and then we can anticipate I'm going to start heading back up again. Boom, boom, boom. The other thing as well is we are going to need something solid. Reason why? Because we don't want this 4-hour candle to close back in the range. We need 151.200 to be respected. That's what we need. It's what we need. It's not what we want. It's what we need for price to continue moving up. Without that, there's no guarantees. Right. Sorry guys, I missed a few messages. Oh, we got where people are from. Okay, nice. So you're from Malaysia. Oh, nice. We got UK. Awesome. Whereabouts from the UK? India, US, Georgia, USA. Birmingham. Okay. Portugal, Kenya. Nice. I'm sneaking into the stream while working in Top Glove Factory. Awesome. We got Sweden for David. Aspen lives around Hertfordshire. Oh, that's you're right near me then, Aspen. You're near me. Obviously, you don't have to tell me exactly where you live in Hertfordshire, but you are very close to me. Learn something new every day. Just new at Forex until now. Total loss so far. Yeah, I think you just gotta keep trying to learn. Just keep trying to improve. Look at your losses. See how you could have done better. You know, this is where, like, you know, the storyteller, you should be sending in your charts. You know, this is how you're gonna get better. This is how you're gonna improve. You're gonna get a second opinion on it. If you wanna get better, you know, you gotta review what went wrong. Did you not take your sell on GJ? No sells. Buys only. Because we're in an uptrend. We're not gonna look for sells. Obviously, you could have played a short-term sell from here to here, but how many times is that going to work out of 10? Probably not that much. Okay, bro, I'm new, so I don't know. Okay. On a 10,000, I use a 1.5 lot, and that 1 pip equal about 0.1% of my account. I just planned GG idea, looking to take trades in MY. Okay. H, how do I join your community? If you want to join the private group, then obviously you want to go to hfxtradinggroup.com. It's on the screen. You go to the mentorship page, and then you'll be able to join from there. But I think I need to sort out the mobile website. I'm pretty sure the mobile website is, let me check on my phone if I can get to it. Yeah, so if you want to get it on the mobile website, you have to type it in on actual Google search, HFX Trading Group, and then on the sub tabs, then click on, then go to mentorship. But it doesn't actually come up, I don't think, on the yeah, it's probably best to go on the computer and do it. But yeah, if you want to join the private community, then yeah, you need to go to the website. But yeah, so Aspen's from Hertfordshire. He's near me. Got a local. First person that said they're almost near me. Okay, so this is pound yen 1 hour chart. So you're waiting for this to happen. So you want a bit of consolidation. You want a candle closing above that consolidation and then look for buys. I think that's good. Or you're currently waiting for potential sells below. Okay, I'd say with sells, I'd say the thing with sells, right, is yeah, this can happen. Yeah, this can happen where you get a bearish candle closing back in the range, but then what can also happen, like what happened in the Asian session, is you can get a bullish candle that comes right back and closes back above and does some crazy liquidity grab. So unless you're managing your trade as you see prices coming down, then, you know, again, you're not 100% sure that price is gonna stay below that area. So probably want to wait for resistance for sells. I'd say it's going to give you a safer option. If you wait for resistance below this level, that's going to give you a safer selling option. If you don't, then this may happen, which we've seen happen a lot of times. So see, right now the 15-minute candle is about to close bearish over here. Obviously we are tapping into this area. We are seeing a little bit of a weak candle, but we don't particularly want to be taking any impulses, because at the end of the day these 30-minute candles are fairly strong and they've basically corrected this whole move up from Asian. So it doesn't really make sense to just buy as soon as we break the first 15-minute high. You know, we need a solid confirmation, because look on the smaller time frames, right? Again, what I was talking about, you're seeing these lower levels of resistance being created. So we want to see a higher level of support start being created on the 5 to anticipate that the direction is changing at that point. Right. Never know, we might have seen each other. Yeah, you never know. Never know. I am kind of interested to know whereabouts you're from, but obviously I don't want to bait out where you live on the live stream, but it'll be interesting if you're like proper close. That would be funny. That would be funny. Do you know where Salim is from? Salim's from Leeds. Yeah, Salim lives in Leeds. I'm sure he could tell you more information on that, but that's all I know. I know he's from Leeds. See, in Leeds, they I've only ever been to Leeds once, and I went to the guy. I went to a comedy show there in Leeds at the. Salim will know what it's called, but it's like the theatre thing there. It's like it's right in the centre. I don't know what the hell it's called. I forgot, but I went there, and I said to the guy, I said, "Oh, do you know where seat number something was?" And he goes, "Yeah, if you go round corner, you'll get there." And I went, "Round the corner?" He's like, "Yeah, go round corner." I was like, "Oh," that was the first time I realised that they don't say like what's it, like they don't say like the, or you know what I mean. It would be like if you go upstairs. No, upstairs is fine. So yeah, like if you obviously down south we'd say, yeah, go round the corner and then go straight, but it was like go round corner. You missed out the whole the situation. But yeah, I thought it was pretty funny. Not to offend anyone from Leeds, but that is something that they do. Or they'll say like if you get out the car. Oh, I don't say the. But yeah. Salim, what is that? What is that place in Leeds called? If you can talk. It might not be on the call. But yeah, no, I've literally been to Leeds once, and I was there, and I remember because I drove to Leeds, and I was waiting at the traffic lights, and anyway I get some drunk woman knocking on my window. They're trying to lean on my car. she was obviously like a uni student or something, dressed up as a pirate. She was absolutely smashed off of her face, by trying to climb on my car. So I had to bib her off. This is on a main road, like one of the busiest roads. Just did not give a crap. Oh, that's funny, man. But yeah. Right. Can I buy? Well, that's up to you. I'm not gonna tell you. I'm not gonna tell you no. I'm not gonna tell you yes. But what I am gonna say is we've spoken about this and we've said I'm waiting for a support. Do you see a support formed here yet? No. So I think the answer is no. But that's up to you. You know, if you want to take a buy and anticipate that we're just gonna head up, you know, if you want to try and be cowboy, then it may work out, it may not. But understand what it is that you want to do, right? I had to take the day off after a loss on Tuesday. Okay, well, I mean, we're kind of waiting here, so if you want to send in that loss, we can take a look for you, Justin, and we can try and work out potentially what went wrong. And you know, when you do that and you look at that loss and then you understand where you went wrong, it's going to help your confidence, you know. So you wouldn't need to take a day off. You just need to look at that loss, accept it's a loss, see how you could have done better, and then bring that new information into the next day. You know, if every time I took a loss that I, you know, then thought, oh, I'm not going to trade tomorrow, then I wouldn't have got any way of trading, because the losses are inevitable. But you can always look at your loss and say, okay, well, maybe what did I do wrong? But sometimes, you know, if you didn't do anything wrong, then it's just down to probability, right? And then there's no reason to have any emotion towards that loss, because you did what you're supposed to do. It just didn't work out. You know, it's just like life, isn't it? I'll DM you. Oh yeah, DM me on Instagram. I'm kind of interested now. If you want to tell me, that's it. Yeah, they do miss out those and that. Mert after every sentence as well. Oh, I've never heard that one. I know they say the word lad a lot. You're right, lad. And then if you're from Manchester, it's I forgot what they say. It's like our kid or something. I don't know. I'm not from up north. Okay. Man, today's been a long waiting game, but you know, in trading, you do get paid. You do get paid to wait. So I mean, you know, other times we come on the stream, there's a trade straight away. That's good, happy days. But other times you gotta wait. Bruv, that was Scottish. God knows, man. I'm not from those sides. I've literally been up north. I've been to Leeds. I've been to Manchester once, but I only basically drove past it. I never actually went into Manchester. That's about it, really. I went to Leeds. I stayed the night there because I drove up in the morning, spent the day there. Went to obviously see the show, and then after that I went back to stay at some hotel, but it was more like a on the website it looked half decent, but I got there and it was absolute, I'm not even going to use the term, but I don't know, it was not to what I expected. Oh god. bum, bum. Anywhere in West Yorkshire is grim, mate. Okay, so we're back at 151 200. So if you look on the 4 hour, obviously now this is the 4 hour kind of doing a retest, right? So obviously if you was a little bit of a cowboy, yeah, you could buy over here, but your stop loss would needed to basically be below the previous 4 hour candle, the breakout 4 hour candle. Obviously you're risking that we may never create support here. We may never respect this area. You don't know. We've got 51 minutes left for this 4 hour to close. And I don't see us getting maybe all the way back up here or even breaking this high in that hour. But we could definitely leave a wick on the 4 hour. You know, somewhere up over here. Closing weak. But we need a solid support formed. But I'm not really liking any impulsive moves over here. It's not really something that I want to do. Because this candle didn't really close like a weak candle, you know. It didn't. Obviously, we got a clean move coming up. In fact, that's an example of an impulse entry. I just remembered someone asked about impulse entry. What did they say? I think they might have deleted it. I can't see it. Who asked about impulse entries? Because I mean, I'm not saying it's gonna work. That's not what I'm trying to say. But this is an example of some like an impulse entry. It's an example of one. If that person wants to remember what they asked me. So EN. Oh damn! I missed it.
Oh, that would have been nice.
Oh god damn, man.
What was the stop on that?
Shit. Well, on the 15 it was about 10.
Yeah, you could have based on the 15. That's quite a nice candle. Strong.
Yeah.
Golfing.
100%. Only thing is, on the 30 minute it was like an 18 pip stop loss. But then the 15 minute candle was quite strong. Well, there you go. That's right. But yeah, it was a nice rejection on the 30 minute. Create a resistance over here on the 15 minute. So technically, yeah, probably would have been okay to sell on this 15 minute candle close, because it closed below that previous bullish candle. It's like an engulfing candle, and then this was your selling candle. So focused on pound yen, I completely forgot. Get out a nice move on EN over here. Yeah, it's only moved like 10-11 pips though, to be fair. So we'll see what happens with that. Gold is at 1738. Yeah, gonna need support because we're coming into quite a hard rejection area. Okay, so yeah, like I was saying, in terms of impulse, as this 15 minute candle is breaking the high over here, that would be an example of an impulsive entry on GJ. This would be an example. So you're breaking the high of the previous 15 minute candle, you have clean candle to the left hand side, but your stop loss would need to be somewhere over here, right? And then you're anticipating that this candle is going to continue this move up, and yeah, that may work, that may work out. However, I'm waiting for a solid confirmation here to tell me that we are going to respect this area, you know, because we've still got the 30 minute high right over here. But you know, that may work out. That sometimes will be the move, but other times it will not. Sometimes that's going to work. Other times it's going to break this high, and then we're going to start to come further down at that point. Okay, hey man, what will be the solid support in GJ? A solid support would be this a 30-minute candle closing bullish would be a solid support. That's a solid support. And then you can anticipate the next one to continue up. That's what you would class as a solid support. A 15-minute candle closing bullish, yeah, it's a support, no doubt about it. Is it a solid support? That's subjective. Because this candle's got like a minute and a half left. The only thing that I want to see is what's going on the 5-minute potentially now. Because we have a minor resistance right over here. So we could come back to this area on the 5-minute and then start to come back down again to retest this low. Right? So I want to see us hit this level and create some level of higher support. And then if we're getting 30-minute candle closing or the 15-minute, then I can say, okay, we should head up. But looking on the structure on the 5 right now, doesn't make sense to buy. You know, and then if you took an impulse entry, then you're going to be in a little bit of drawdown potentially. But as long as your stop loss is down over here, when it comes to impulse entries, right? When it comes to impulse entries, let's say you took a buy over here and your stop is over here, then I would agree that you do need to manage this trade. If this candle breaks the low, if the next one breaks the low of this 15-minute candle, I will be either closing out or I will be looking at managing my risk. What else are you looking for? You're also looking to see if the 5-minute starts to create further resistance like it is right now, and you start to see 5-minute candles rejecting this area again like this with wicks to the upside and closing bearish, I'll be looking at closing that trade. Understand the structure. We're creating resistance, you know, just one minor support is not enough at this point, but we can continue up. So let's see how the 15-minute candle closed. 15-minute candle closed bullish, but look at it, it broke the high, but it closed below the body of the previous candle, which suggests that it was a weaker body close. 30-minute candle still open at this point, so for me there's no trade right now. We still have a resistance forming on the 5-minute as well. We can see the resistance being formed right over here, so for me there's no buys. If we create a support over here, right, and then we have the 30-minute candle closing bullish, then I can say, okay, we should start to head up now. Gotta wait for the confirmations. Remember, impulse entries are risky entries. That's why I've had to now say to myself, you know what, I don't want to even be looking at that, you know, because I want an overall high win rate. If you want that, then you don't want to be necessarily taking these impulsive moves. I took a trade on GBP/JPY. Okay, well then you're gonna have to go with it. If you took a trade on GBP/JPY, you're gonna have to go with it at this point, because if you start to see this 5-minute resistance or over here being respected, and you start to see rejections like this, then you need to think about, is your trade working out at this point? Do you know what I mean? If we are creating this kind of support over here, you do see candles start pushing up, then you know that you can start to look at how you can mitigate risk.
Yeah, I just don't know if that 15 minutes is strong enough.
No.
Like with the downward momentum we've been having.
No, not for me, it's not. Because if this 15-minute candle, let's say, closed like a stronger, like this, even though it may work, you know, what's to say the next 15-minute doesn't create a resistance? Do you know what I'm saying? We don't know that. That's why I'm waiting for the 30-minute candle to close.
Yeah, this 30-minute could easily break the low of the previous. Well, it could break on the 15-minute and then close the 30-minute, you know, below.
Yeah, exactly.
Again, so.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Look at the 15-minute candle now. What we seeing? What did I literally just speak about? If we see rejections over here, you can now see 5-minute candles rejecting. Does it make sense to hold these buys if you took an impulse entry? In my opinion, no. In my opinion, I think there's a very high chance it's going to come down and break this low at this point. Look at the structure. Creating resistance. Situation here, resistance. So there's no buys right now. There's no buys. You know, yes, it may run up, but right now it's looking more like we're going to continue down. And I'm not saying we're going to continue down. Oh, we're coming down here. I'm just saying that we're seeing rejections. We tried to break the high. We closed weak. We're now seeing the 15-minute create a top wick first. If it starts to come down below the body of this 15-minute candle, there's a very high probability this candle is gonna stop anyone out from buys over here. Or if you got stop loss over here, same situation. And that is why I always wait to see it, maybe potentially if the 30-minute candle can close. Obviously, I hope that this candle will come back bullish. You know, that'll be obviously good. But looking at the structure, until I see a higher level of support being created, that's not what I'm seeing right now. What am I seeing right now? I'm seeing rejections over here. If you're seeing rejections on the smaller time frame, that's an indication. That's an indication that potentially your buys isn't going to work out if you took that impulsive move. And do you know how I learnt this? I learnt this by looking at one of my losses. I looked at a loss, I looked at a 15-minute support, I took a buy, and what I didn't pay attention to was the 5-minute. I looked on the 5-minute, and what did I see? I saw the same situation. 5-minute creating resistance, failing to break above previous levels, creating this rejection wicks to the upside, and it stopped me out. Right? And if I'd paid more attention, I could have started to mitigate risk. But effectively, from what I've seen, this should actually come down to here. But we'll see. Obviously, for anyone,
like you said yesterday, we might just consolidate at the moment on the 5-minute until we get that one strong candle that wants to continue up.
yeah. But obviously, when there's consolidation, that means we'll hit the lower end of this, which means that if someone who took an impulsive buy right over here, they now are sitting in drawdown, and they have a higher probability of getting stopped out. Which is why I'm trying to stay clear of, well, I have stayed clear of the impulse entries for a little while now. What do you think about gold if this 30-minute candle closes above 1739 on 1739.50? 1739.50. Yeah, I think you need the 30-minute candle to close above. If you look at the 15-minute candle, yes, it's created support, but this candle had no wick to the top. So I think you need to start to see some rejections of this lower end of support on the 5-minute to anticipate that, you know, if anything, I'd probably wait for a break above this resistance on the 5-minute to continue up. That's what I would say. I'd say there's no buys right now, or wait for the 30-minute candle to close and then see what it looks like on the 5. But yeah. The only issue I have is, yes, credit support above 1739, but there's a lot of rejections here, and if you look, the last time we came above here, we did a fake out. So yeah, I mean, you're running into a lot of issues here, so I don't know about buys above this area, to be honest. Not something that I would be confident in, to be completely honest, but you have to wait and see. Oh, actually, maybe good thing we didn't take EN cells. And for those of you who took impulsive buys on GJ, yeah.
I mean, that was very risky because, like, you didn't even have a 15-minute candle closing.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't even break 5-minute structure, so that's why, yeah, that's why I've completely stayed away from them. Stop loss hit? Where did you have your stop loss? I mean, I spoke about if you was gonna take the impulse entry, then your stop would need to be over here. below this previous candle wick, not here, that's so risky. Then yeah, of course you're gonna get stopped out. But again, you just have to learn. But yeah, now price is coming down. We don't have a support. The only thing that is kind of good about the situation is we may create a range over here, and then like what me and Cus were just saying, and then we can wait for that one candle that creates the confirmation, and then look to take buyers back up. You know what I'm saying? But right now, there ain't no, there's no buyers right now. No buyers right now. Price is coming down. Pay attention.
Maybe just wait for the hour to close. Like, you know, this 30-minute could close just like weak, something like a doji, and then get the next one coming up. Then it'll have a strong close on the hour.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Market always range before it starts to trend, therefore GJ is going to range. Potentially. I mean, it could actually start breaking down and come back in the range. And then what would that mean? That would mean 4 hour. That means 4 hour would be a fake out. What does that mean? It means there's no buys, right? Because remember, how long we got left on the 4 hour? We need this 4 hour in 30 minutes time to stay above 151.200. If it doesn't, we have done a fake out. Can you view my chart? Yes, Mr. T. Yes, I can view your chart if you send me your chart. Something to learn from on those impulse entries. Always wait for structure to form. Yes, exactly. If you want to take an impulse entry on the 15, start to look for a confluence on the 5 minute. Wait for 5 minute candles to close. Wait for that first higher level of support. We didn't even get that. We didn't even get that. So yeah, 100% agreed. And we'll sell on the break of support. That's up to you. That is up to you. I'm not taking any sells here. I'm only taking sells if I get a potential low and then resistance back in the range created. Then I could sell it, because then I know that the 4 hour faking out is creating a resistance back in the range and we should head down. Apart from that, I'm not interested in sells. If I don't get any buys here today, then I guess there's no trade really, unless I see something solid. Apart from that, I'm not interested. So yeah, if you want to send me your chart, I can take a look. Here, we can't see it. You have to send the code, yeah? If you don't know how to do that, ask and I'll show you, but
Just looking at that close, I think this next 30 minute will come back in range because I don't see the 4 hour managing to get back below like 151, 150.
So what you're saying is you're thinking the 30 minute could close back above?
Yeah.
Potentially, yeah. I mean, we've basically come back to this area of liquidity, but then for that to happen, that would basically be the 1 hour creating support anyway.
Pretty much.
Yeah, so I think that idea would basically make sense. But obviously, if we can't close back above, then 4 hours do a fake out, and then that's it, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
But if I see price basically just continuing down now to, like, let's say it surpasses 151, 100, then I'm probably just gonna call it a day. So I've got to shoot off soon anyway. Got to take the dog out. So yeah, we waited. I think today we showed people one of probably the most important aspects of trading, and that was patience. We waited. I mean, I've been up since pretty early, so I've been up nearly 2.5 hours, nearly 3 hours waiting.
3.5.
3.5 hours waiting.
Yeah.
Right, for buys. It didn't come, so.
Yeah, it's definitely not a waste of time either because like you have to keep practicing this skill of patience every day. Anyway.
Right. Sorry, Mr. T. I cannot see your chart, mate. I cannot see your chart. So you're gonna have to resend that code and try and put it with a little bit of text. Gold, bro. Let's check out gold then. Yeah, gold. Okay, so gold is rejecting 1738 at this point. So if you're looking for sells, then sells are going to be below 1732 for price to continue down. If not, there's no sells. Yeah, looks like EN did a fake out. EN actually did a fake out. So yeah, at least we actually, that's okay. I'm happy then. I missed EN. Man, nothing's moving that well today. Gonna need to wait to see how this candle closes. My GBP AUD is just entered. Okay, let's check out this chart. No, it didn't work, Mr. T. I can't see it at all, mate. Try and do what he did and just put like a sentence with it, and then just copy and paste the code. If not, send me over a chart later on Instagram or something. I'll take a look for you. Okay, so it's pound AUD. I like this chart. It's very, very clean, very clear cut. I like it. Okay, so break out of the zone with clear candles. Accumulation. Okay, so it's like consolidation. Looking for a close above. Expecting correction of the downward move. Stop loss under 30 minute. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Oh, you entered when broke the highs. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I think you're gonna have to be a little bit cautious of this wick, and obviously you're gonna have some issues as you look on the smaller time frames right over here. So this area here is gonna give you some issues. Probably on the 15 minute there's gonna be some resistance. In fact, we'll take a look at GA. We'll take a look at GA for you. I'll take a little look. So looking at GA. Okay, yes, you got the 30-minute candle closing above. I think it can make sense. It definitely makes sense, but yeah, you're gonna, see, this is your area where you're gonna have some issues right over here, because you got a resistance formed over there on the 15-minute. So if anything, more than likely price is gonna continue up to this area. So if that was me, I'd be securing profits. I'm putting stops to break even, just in case. Maybe even this previous support. Sorry, pardon me. Right, but yeah, I think it does make sense. Let's look at the 1 hour. Obviously, the 1 hour candle is still open, so I think as long as you got stop down over here, and as long as the 1 hour candle can close bullish, then you should then it makes sense. The other one thing I would say is sometimes what's good is to wait for a pullback. So if anything, you have two options. Yeah, you can take buys or whatever, but technically speaking, kind of like what we're looking for in GJ, you had this down move, right? This is a low being created. So you're basically anticipating that since we've created a support and a low, that there'll be a retracement. So technically you're buying the retracement, okay? But what you could do is wait for that retracement and then wait to see if you can get a resistance. If we come back to this area and we form resistance there again, then actually it will make sense for price to continue down to retest the low. So you could be looking for sells as well. So keep that in the back of your mind as well, because remember, you've had this strong move down. One bullish candle may not suggest we're gonna continue. I agree that in the short term there could be a move up to this kind of area here, based on the fact that we've closed above that resistance that was attempted to be created. But effectively you could wait for the pullback and then wait for resistance and then sell it back down to retest the low. So you got a couple of options there. But sometimes I like to just see it for myself, and then I can give you a more accurate analysis, like with GA. So pound yen is trying to come back above the range. Let's look on the 15-minute. So I think we're just going to get some consolidation over here for a little bit, because obviously this becomes, it's kind of like similar thing, right? But we obviously are waiting for buys, so this makes more sense because we've had this move up. This is our retracement, and then we're waiting for a bit of consolidation, some form of confirmation candle, and then looking to take it back up again. That's what we're kind of looking at. I am pro noob, but I learned so much from you. No, I appreciate that. That's okay. A-Rod, morning HFX. I'm being late for the party this week. It's 2 AM over here. Yeah, A-Rod, if you continue turning up late, you're going to get stripped of your moderator title over there. I'm afraid that comes with big responsibility. No, I'm only joking.
It's alright, I cover a shift.
Yeah. Kelsey's been covering your shift for the last week, so don't let that happen again. Thank you very much for explanation. Learned a lot. Perfect. That's what we're here to do. We're here to help you learn. Well, I'm here to, yeah. We're all here to help each other learn. That worked now. Oh yeah, I can see your code. It's come through now. One sec. Gold could be bearish if we break that support on the 5-minute. Yeah, I don't know about that one. I would be cautious of gold sells until we're below this 1 hour level, right? Because right now gold is pretty bullish. So until we're below this 1 hour support, I wouldn't be looking for any sells. I think if you can get a resistance below 1732, then yes, I think you can have a good play down to 1727. Right, but until you're above this resistance, no, there's no sells right now. There's no sells. Thanks, mate. I exited full when came back to entrance. Okay, you exit. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Right, let's check out Mr. T's chart. Mr. T. I swear, Mr. T's that
Snickers guy.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Love that guy. Okay, so this is GPJPY 15-minute. So you took a buy over here, or you took a sell. Close 15-minute sell. Oh, I got so confused. Right. First of all, Mr. T. First of all, right. This grey line is where you entered. Right. This is where you entered the trade. This is your entry. Green equals profit. Red equals drawdown, aka stop loss. Yeah. So you've got this the wrong way around. If you took a sell, you'd want the green this side and the red the top side. But in my honest opinion, I think your sells were very risky. Okay, the reason being is because we were closing above this level, and what was to say that we wouldn't have come back to this level and created a support to start heading back up. So I think if you were looking for sells, it would have been somewhere around here, because we closed back below this resistance. If that's pretty messy now, let me redraw that. So if you want actual critical feedback here, then this was a risky sell. This situation here, that's risky, because what you could see is a bullish candle forming over here to continue up, right? What you would want to see, and what made more sense, was since we had a resistance here previously, as you can see, we closed back below and we were creating a resistance structure right over here. And then as you look, this is London open candle. So now you have to understand how you could have caught this volume push. And I'm pretty sure if you go to the smaller time frames, like the 5 minute, you're going to see more than likely some form of resistance being created in that area for price to continue down. So I think that would have been your better option, somewhere selling over here, below this level there, not over here. This is a bad situation to be selling and even buying, because there's no bullish candle. So there was no trade above that range until we had a support or we closed back to create resistance. So yeah, that's as best as I can. But I mean, obviously you've won the trade, so well done. You closed 80%, 10 pips, you left the runner to run. I think that's great. However, it was a risky sell. Is that going to work every time? No. You're gonna get really badly hurt if you do that. Let's say 20 times. I'd say I'd probably give you maybe 3 to 5 that you're gonna win that if you're lucky. So yeah. But I don't mean to. I'm not trying to put your trade down. I'm not trying to. At the end of the day, you had a win. That's great. But however, we're trying to build a community of consistent traders. This will not bring you consistency, so just accept the advice. So it looks like the 1 hour time frame on GJ is trying to close bullish. We've got like 15 minutes left. The 30-minute candle's got like 15 minutes left. The 15-minute candle closed bullish, but it closed below this resistance. So we're basically just consolidating, right? We're basically just getting a bit of consolidation over here, right? So you're either looking for buys potentially above these wicks to continue up, or you're going to wait for that 1 hour and see what happens. But I mean, even if we get a 1 hour support, there's no confirmation. That's not just one pure confirmation to say we're going to head up. We need to start looking on the smaller time frames, and again, remember, build a picture, tell a story. Okay, but don't worry, yeah. Okay. I'm gonna just watch GA and GJ today, no trading. I think that's pretty sensible. There's no obligation to take a trade. Remember that. No obligation. GJ pushing on 15 minute. Yeah, I'm seeing this. It's pushing up, but gonna wait for the 30-minute candle to close. It may continue running, but however, it's still consolidating.
I'm gonna say as well, on the 50-minute, it looks like tried to create resistance here, and then we kind of unable to really come down below there after that candle. And yeah, if you get close above that 15-minute area now, it would be closing the 30 and the hour quite strong, so it could be a good opportunity there.
Yeah, we'll wait and see.
The 4 hour is going to open as well, so you got to be careful about that.
Yeah, that's the other thing as well. With the new 4 hour open, I would expect a wick back down to this zone.
Yeah,
I would expect that. Yeah, so I'm just kind of chilling here, just waiting. If I see something I like, then I take a trade. If I don't, then I won't. But yeah, like there's definitely like confirmations building, but we just need them solidified now. That you're talking about, because if we break it above this minor resistance over here, then we can continue, you know. And then if you look on the 5 minute, if that happens, it will be creating a higher level of 5 minute support for us. So we're just kind of waiting. 85 watching and only 32 likes. Come on, guys. Yeah, we've got 91 here now, so we should have like 91 likes really. But no, I'm joking. But yeah, obviously, if you want to like the stream, guys, I'd really appreciate that. So if you can get those likes running up, that'd be awesome. EJ buys. EG, sorry, not EJ. EG buys. Please advise. Okay, Patrick, I'll advise you. Let's check out Patrick's EG. So Euro GBP, right? Euro GBP. 30-minute time frame. Let's zoom in here. Let's see what's going on. So price just broke out of this consolidation. Okay, yes, you had some consolidation here. Pretty good. Confirmation candle. Okay, yep. And you're looking to buy up to that area there. Okay, that's fine. Makes sense. But two things. One, potentially you may get reactions at this level right over here. So if you get reactions at this level, how are you going to manage your trade? You know, would it maybe have been better to let price make a high and then wait for a support? You have to think about these things. So yeah, so either way, you're looking for potential continuation, but again, you have this area, you have this resistance over here that can bring you some issues. So what I think is you need to think about where are you also going to secure profits, and what are you going to do if we start to see bearish candles coming down. You know, what are you going to look for to give your trade a second chance, all of these things. But yeah, it makes sense. I like it. I just think you want to be careful of these resistance areas coming up. So these are probably going to be your targets. So I don't know how big that is from there to there, but from there to there, but this is going to be a profit taking level because you can get reactions off of this resistance.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, you've had a big move like that, which happened here, and then we kind of tapped into like this area previously, and then we've reacted off of it. So the fact that we've been bullish for so long is going to suggest we're probably going to pull back sooner than later.
Yeah, exactly. Because what could happen is you can pull back to, let's say you have that same situation where we maybe come to here, we pull back to this area, and then we create some support to continue that move up. You know, that's more than likely the situation. But yeah, like Kelsey was just saying, is you see a lot of volume here. So yeah, you're anticipating a continuation, but at the same time, that happened here, like he was saying, and then you got that pullback. But I mean, yeah, I do think it's a good idea though. Just if it doesn't work, and let's say it comes back, then you need to say to yourself, right, probably going to need to wait for a support to form. Ooh, that's
I like how GJ's broken the 30-minute high. That's good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's broken the high on the 30-minute, but I need to wait to see how the 1 hour candle closes.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I didn't want to buy here, right? That makes no sense. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we done a fake out, whatever, but it's a 15-minute. You know, we have resistance over here. We still didn't close above that. You know, what happens if this candle just comes back in the range? Then impulsive buys again, just not working out. So we're gonna see what happens. We've got like 8 minutes as well. So obviously I'm expecting the next 4 hour to also revisit this area. That's what I'm expecting. So I feel like being patient here is going to really pay off. But we're actually going to call it a day in like 10 minutes. Anyway. On the stream, that is. So I'm afraid you guys might not get to be able to see the trade. But yeah, there we go. Oh, it was an accident? Alright, fair enough, Mr. T. Mr. T. I'll give you that one. But still. Got to pay attention to detail, my friend. We've gone through that. Hi, Kelly. My name's not Kelly. Who's Kelly? Hi, Kelly. This stream is till NY Open. No. This stream is till 10 minutes time. And it's not Kelly. There's no Kelly here. Boom, 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 boom. Man, I hear the same tunes over and over again. It's alright, I don't mind these tunes, they're pretty good. Kind of chilled, innit? I need to add some more tunes to the playlist, but I only play the ones that I've liked, because then I don't hear them crappy ones I haven't heard before. GJ is looking very good for buy, but the 4-hour time frame may be some problem. Yeah, because the 4 hours coming to a close in like 7 minutes, so the new 4-hour candle may want to like wick back down to this area. So something that yeah, something that I'm like looking at. But the 1 hour time frame is making sense for price to continue up. Obviously stops are going to be pretty big if you go just based on the 1 hour. So that's why I'm going to wait to see what happens once the new 4-hour candle opens up. If I miss it today, like it doesn't really bother me too much. Be patient, guys. Next hour may wick down. Exactly what I'm looking at. Where in UK are you from? London. I'm from London. New to the stream. I'm currently learning both Forex and HFX. Try to collect as much info as possible. Yeah, well, I mean, this is Forex. I'm just called HFX. We don't do HFX here, so yeah, that's not, we don't do that high frequency options, whatever. This isn't that. I just call myself HFX because my name is Harrison. So it's Harrison FX, isn't it? So yeah, if you're looking for options trading, you're at the wrong place. But if you want to learn about Forex, then yeah, you're at the right place. Gold making that move down. Let's take a look. Yeah, it has moved down, but again, you know, it's like these are like more impulsive sells, right? More impulsive sells. You know, what's to say that we didn't respect this 1 hour resistance? So because better sells are going to be below that area, aren't they? 4 hour candle as well is coming to a close on gold. Right, let's remove this for a minute. It's just in the way now. Right, how many likes we got here? I'm expecting to see 85, yeah? No, I'm joking. 47 likes, that's pretty good. Did you take a trade today? No trade for me today so far. We waited for support, waited for support. Never came. But we may be getting that now. But we're just going to have to wait and see. Because the thing that I'm looking at is the 30-minute candle may be closing back above, which is great. Good confirmation. However, it's the new 4 hour, it's the new 1 hour. We're more than likely going to see a wick down. So that would suggest then on the 15-minute we're going to see some pullback to this lower end of support. Plus, I didn't trust this 15-minute candle whatsoever. So we'll see if this 15-minute closes back in the range, and then we are just consolidating there. So I won't want to buy over here when I know that the 15 minutes consolidating. It makes no sense. So yeah, just gonna wait and see what happens. GJ and GU grabbing so much of liquidity. Yeah, potentially. Very potentially. So we just gotta wait and see how we close over here. But I think we're gonna call it a day in a bit because I've actually got to shoot off soon. So if I miss it, it just is what it is, isn't it? Got dog duties. So we've got like 3 minutes left. See, if we had had a 30-minute candle closing bullish before this, then I'd say, okay, yeah, we could see a push in the last half an hour of the 4 hour, but hasn't done it in a way for that to happen. Imagine if we get a no wick. If we get a no wick, I'm gonna call it a day.
Yeah, I want the next one out to pull back to like 250, 260.
Yeah, what would be really nice if we see the new 1 hour can obviously wick down, break this 15-minute low, because it could easily do that, and then start to go bullish. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it wouldn't be nice if it breaks the high straight away, that's for sure.
No. So we've got like 30 seconds left. Let's see on the 5 minute. I think 5 minute is definitely creating bullish,
solid.
yeah, bullish market structure at this point. So we should see price continuing up soon. But the 30 minute is obviously creating a bit of a, it's a bit of a difficult situation. We'll probably see, to be honest with you, the next 30 minute candle closing bearish, creating that bottom wick on the 1 hour, right? So I think we'll see something like this, where we get a bearish candle like this, little wick down, and then we'll see the next one continue moving bullish. Right, so let's look how we closed over here. So the 15-minute candle closed above this minor resistance. So I mean, there is an opportunity to look for buys, but I'm not really wanting to take buys right now. I'm not convinced just yet that we're gonna just head straight up willy-nilly. Yes, we've respected this area in the 4 hour, exactly what I wanted to see. 1 hour time frame has created a support over here. It's going to be like a 17 pip stop. So I'm thinking I'm going to wait a little bit longer here. We've waited long enough, so it doesn't mean we can't wait a little bit longer just to get that better position. Especially if you're seeing candles that say tapping into this previous resistance and respecting it. You know, and then if you're seeing 5 minute candles wicking back down and creating a support, that would also make sense. I want to hold on a little bit over here. I don't think just yet we're off. But if I miss it, I miss it. Do you know what I'm saying? It is what it is at that point. I'm in a GU buy, but it's playing too much. Yeah, I haven't looked at GU. This is GA. Oh, it's like that GA 30-minute closed, like a weak candle. Yeah, I think GA should continue moving up though, if it can break above these high points. Look on the 5 minute. Yeah, I think it should continue up. Create support on the 1 hour, pretty good. Look what GU's doing. And we're literally gonna call it a day soon though, I'm not gonna lie. GU, you took a GU buy. You have resistance right over here though. The only confluence you have is the 1 hour. So you're gonna need your stops to be below these 1 hour lows. Otherwise you can get caught out. Because right now you have a resistance right over here on the 30-minute time frame. So in my personal opinion, I think you're gonna have to base this trade off of the 1 hour, because then on the 1 hour you've created support to head up. If you look on the 30-minute, this is technically consolidation because we've failed to break above this resistance. So you may have to sit for a little bit of drawdown, but we'll see. On GBP JPY, MACD sign bearish stock, so I don't know what that is. We'll see. We do have a 1 hour support created. That's the only thing that I like the most about the situation, but I'm not quite convinced we're heading up just yet. But
I want to get a better stop. I don't really want a 20 pip stop.
Nah, neither do I.
Now it's heading up.
But yeah, maybe we're wrong. We'll have to wait and see. I'm not so convinced we're heading up just yet. That's why I'm just kind of chilling, yeah. But obviously if we do, then yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that hour's a long time for it to like do its thing.
Yeah.
I'm kind of looking at the 5 minutes to see at the moment. Are we gonna go on the 5 could? It's just like, where is it? Like this area. Are we gonna get above that?
Yeah. Or even are we gonna have some reactions here?
Yeah. Possibly.
Pull back to like here, and then start heading back up later on. But I mean, we can just smash through the zone. It's obviously only a 5 minute zone, but still, it's important in terms of structure because you're gonna get little reactions and whatnot. And we did speak about wait for some structure to form on the 5 minute, and that has started to form. So in theory, it does make sense actually for price to continue up. But at this point, if you're not really in it, then I wouldn't be in it now. Can't really be buying over here. If I was in it, it would have been somewhere over here. I mean, to be honest, to be completely honest, if we miss this move up, then, you know, there's still buys above 151,600 to continue up to 151,960, right? We still got that option there. But I'm not so convinced we're going up yet. From what I've seen with this type of structure before, usually we get a bearish candle pullback, and then we get like a support that just kind of goes like that. But never guaranteed to do that same situation. Seems like we want to continue moving bullish. Yeah, it seems like we do. Right, I'm not even gonna lie, guys. I'm gonna have to shoot off. I've got places to be, so I mean, I'm gonna keep an eye on it. I'm gonna see what happens, but I may miss this here because I do actually have to go. So yeah, if we miss it, we miss it. That's how it goes. All right then, everyone. So yeah, we're gonna call it a day now. I've actually got to go. So I'd love to stay on a bit longer and wait for this, but I actually can't. So yeah, we're gonna have to call it a day here today. So I think we had a really good day despite no trade. I mean, we had some great discussions. We went through some really good concepts in depth. We discussed some really good things that were gonna help a lot of people out with, you know, education and whatnot. So yeah, I think overall it was a good idea. Sorry, a good day. But yeah, I may actually miss this move, but I actually do have to go out. So hopefully if it doesn't do anything in the next like 30 minutes, I may be able to get back in time, but we'll see. We will see. So yeah.
Thank you, Harrison. Thanks,
Yeah.
Kelsey.
No worries, Salim. Have a good day, mate. We'll see you in the morning.
man. See you later.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye. So yeah. So everyone on the YouTube, thanks very much for coming on today. Really appreciate it. If you could drop a like on the stream, that would be that'd be much appreciated. So thanks very much for that. Let's answer this one last question. Hey man, whenever I close partial position, so let's suppose 0.5 on a lot size of 1, so my entry point for remaining 0.5 lot came at exit point on which I booked my partial profit, so it's kind of taken a new trade. Any idea why is that? I don't really get what you're trying to say. So my entry point, do you get what he's trying to say? I'm not really too sure. So like when you're closing partial position, that means if you had a 1 lot on it, then you're closing 50%, like you're closing 0.5 of that position. So the other half is just the other half left running. So yeah, man, I don't know how to like kind of answer that. It doesn't really make sense. I don't think it's taking a new trade at all. It's not taking a new trade. Like if you originally put down a 1 lot, like you're trading a 1 lot, like you're just closing 50% of that 1 lot. You know what I mean? Like there's no new trade. There's no like, you're not adding anything onto it. You just traded the 1 lot. So yeah, I think you're reading into it too much, man. Don't worry about that. You know, just think about what you originally wanted to risk and just stick with that. Close your partial positions, let the rest run, put at break even, whatever. But don't be, yeah. So yeah, this is what I was talking about right over here. I was not confident that we were going to just start heading straight back up. I was not convinced yet that we were going to start heading straight back up. I think we're going to see a bearish 30-minute close, and then we'll see some form of support being created on the smaller time frame to continue up. Maybe like a liquidity grab on the 15-minute will give you that opportunity. But yeah, we'll see. Alright, I'm going to shoot off now. Thanks very much, guys. Thank you very much. Cheers, A-Rod. Thank you. Appreciate it. May I know what time this session will end? It's ending now. We're ending now. Usually we'd stay on like another 20 minutes, but I've actually got to go do something. So not around. So yeah, no trading day for me so far, but we'll see what later on brings. Okay, guys, thanks very much, and we'll see you all tomorrow morning, 7 AM. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.